Hi everyone, I just want to do a little update regarding the new movie called The Pathological Optimist by Miranda Bailey. This is a movie about Andrew Wakefield and his life spanning over a period of 5 years, I think from 2011 to 2016. The film itself is really quite dull and boring. It's hard to get through. Whether or not you agree with the content, it is just really tiring, and you've got to make a real effort to keep tuned into the topic. The reason why I'm interested in watching this film is of course because of the whole controversy around Wakefield and his fraudulent behaviour regarding the MMR vaccine and autism. I have autistic children. I'm also on the autism spectrum, and we all know that vaccines do not cause autism. This has been proven over and over. There's been, I think, over 100 studies to prove that this is not true. But Wakefield has managed to convince many people around the world that this is otherwise, and children have suffered as a consequence, and there has been many deaths around the world, and children ending up disabled because of measles, because of Wakefield's fraudulent study, which was, booted out many years ago. Wakefield was once a surgeon or a doctor, and he lost his medical license in 2010. And rightly so, because what he did was horrific. He lied to the public. He also did very unethical research. One of the things he did was actually draw blood from children at his son's birthday party and paid the children £5 each. So just imagine, your child coming along for a birthday party and, oh, by the way, can we have some blood for my fraudulent study? So this is what Wakefield done. What kind of, a normal person would carry out that kind of abusive behaviour, which is what it is. Wakefield actually admits this in the film. He admits that what he did was wrong with regards to the birthday party, but he only admits it because he was trying desperately to clear his name. He didn't think it was wrong at the time. What's interesting about the film really is that we see Wakefield's family in this film. We see his mother, we see his brother Tim, his wife Carmel Donovan, and his children. And we see her, that's Wakefield's wife, supporting this crazy behaviour. And I suppose this what really shocks me is that you would think that this family kind of appears educated and knowledgeable, and that they would actually stand by this years after that they were proven wrong, and continue to do so to this day with Vaxxed and all these awful bogus stories that are being fed to the public about vaccinations. It's not just about the MMR anymore. We know that Wakefield has joined forces with Tommy and other quacks around the world in terrifying parents against vaccines in general, meaning all vaccines are bad now in their eyes, which is absolutely horrendously dangerous and is wreaking havoc around the world as we speak. The other thing with this film, apart from it being really badly presented, like I said, is that it's so biased. I know that other people in this film didn't get an opportunity to speak, and even though they say that they did give this opportunity, it was not done. That is not true. And what we see is the same propaganda that we see in Vax, kind of, news flashes and snippets, making Wakefield look like a pariah and a parasite, which is what he is. But, no real balance, no real proper, debate around this. It's just all Wakefield. Poor Wakefield. There's like images of Wakefield doing his yoga at the gym, images of him chopping wood, making scrambled eggs. He's got such a hard life. But the truth is this, and this is what I find interesting about this film. I saw Vaxxed, and when I wrote about that, I was attacked by people. You can't talk about this, Fiona O'Leary, because you haven't seen it. I did, because I don't just write about something I don't watch. I always have evidence to back up everything I say. So I've taken the 2 hours out of my life today to watch this, and it was painful. It really was. And I suppose the film to me is the same kind of carry on that we see in Vax, this kind of alarmist kind of thing. And what it really just portrays is that Wakefield is this victim, this poor man that has been, attacked by big pharma and governments and society, and he's been shunned, blah, blah, blah. But it's far from that. What it really shows to me is actually something very important. Because of my research and my campaign work into bogus autism treatments, I recognise a lot of the people in this film. I recognise the quacks, the chiropractors, and all of these people that Wakefield collaborated with when he went to America after he left England. So when he did leave England, when the paper was proven to be fraudulent, he moved to Texas and he set up Thoughtful House, which was a charity where Wakefield was on a salary, I think, of around $300,000 a year. So he's making huge money, probably more than he was being, in his position as a surgeon. And this is what really alarms me, is that nobody seems to talk about this element at all. That, Wakefield was like poor in America. He lost his job. He had no money. He lives in a mansion like Elton John or something, with swimming pool, huge house, enormous house. He has a beautiful car. He spends most of his time dining with women. There's women thrown over him, and it's the same again in this film, but even worse. Literally, women, in my opinion, seen as some kind of sex object. They're, oh God, Andy, look at your hair. Isn't it so science-like, Andy? Andy needs some new glasses. Andy, can I hug you, Andy? Hug me, Andy. It's really creepy. And I don't know how his wife feels about that, but it's something would pee me off. I saw my husband being molested by all of these women, which is what's going on. And then you have this whole issue of him being defamed. I mean, it's all around Brian Deere and his brilliant, brilliant expose of Wakefield, which it was, which led to him being, stripped of his medical license. And rightly so, like I said, he deserved everything he got and more. I mean, I think Wakefield should have gone to jail. I don't think he should have been allowed to skip off to America and continue on to cause grave harm to our children, which is what he's doing to this day. So basically it's all about, oh, look at me, I'm defamed, my name was destroyed, blah, blah, blah. You see his mother, you see his family members, and what really, if this is all about, is money. So when he was in Thoughtful House, he was on his nice salary. He aligned himself with quacks. Dr. Bradstreet, who ended up committing suicide because he was raided by the FDA for selling bogus GC math to autistic children. None of that was addressed in this film. So what you have is Miranda Bailey, very bad director for this film, Miranda, I have to say that. I mean, it's just so awful. There's like an image of Thoughtful House. That's it. There's nothing about it. He offered holistic supports for parents with autistic children. Why didn't you delve into what really happened, Miranda? That he was working with quacks who were giving unregulated, unproven and dangerous products to autistic children. How he was involved with a family which led to a boy being brutally murdered, Alex Berdolakis, where his hands were hacked off by his own mother, and Wakefield profited from that as well, making a film called Who Killed Alex Berdolakis? Well, we all know who killed him. His mother killed him. So none of that was looked at. None of that awful behaviour was looked at all. And I suppose what really, really enrages me of this film, again, it's the same with Vax, the same with all this propaganda crap by quacks, is no autistic voices, nothing. How we feel about Wakefield, how we are experimented on with bogus treatments by him and his colleagues, how we are exploited at the hands of Wakefield. Ongoingly, it's still happening now. None of our voices are allowed in that. There wasn't even one representative from any autism group at all, which really shocked me. Really badly researched, Miranda, not balanced at all. And then what you have really effectively throughout this film, and maybe Miranda, his supporters and the quacks that believe in this bullshit about vaccines are not probably educated enough to see what's going on here. But for us, who are educated and who understand the truth about Wakefield and his fraudulent behaviour, it's all about money. And this film actually portrays that really well. So I thank you for that, and I commend you for that. From the £5 at the birthday party, paying children to give blood, to do his bogus research. And then what you have is litigation after litigation. So when Wakefield was exposed by Brian Deere and the Times in such a wonderful way, he started suing people because he felt that his name was taken away and that he was wronged, etc., etc. And so what happened was he lost, and he lost, and he lost, and he kept appealing. And in that process, he started to take money from vulnerable families. Even in this film, you can see him saying, oh, there's nothing left from the autism community, because he's basically bled them dry. Any parent that had money to try and help their children to get proper supports, he took it from them. He was getting checks handed over to him left, right and centre. All you see is Wakefield attending dinner dances and balls with all these fancy women, wine flowing. And actually, Wakefield, you drink quite a lot throughout this film. And You know, he's even sitting down, taking a phone call, and has to open a can of beer, okay? We all like to have a glass of wine now and again, but, you know, you're living a high life here, buddy. You're not suffering. You're not poor. You're not living on the streets. You're living in a mansion, fine wines, dining, having a great time, by the looks of things to me. So, you're not poor, okay? And then these fundraisers, my God. So you see Wakefield saying, I need at least $1 million to appeal this case, or at least 500,000 to appeal it again, because he keeps appealing. But he knows he's going to lose. This is the thing. Wakefield knows the outcome of what's going on, but he knows he can make money. So he tells these idiots, who are obviously not very bright, that he needs X, Y, and Z to go to court to sue Brian Deere. That's all he cares about, really. So he just wants to get back. He's like a little child in the playground. And he knows he's not going to win, but he knows he can make money. So that's how he makes his money, by robbing vulnerable parents and by duping these idiots that have money, you know, I don't know, like Johnson & Johnson or these big companies that are obviously not very well educated on science and believe in quackery. And then the chiropractor. So when it all failed with the autism community, when he'd done them and he'd finished them off and he'd bled them dry, he went to the chiropractors. And they had these big fundraisers in the film. One of them, $50,000. $50,000. And you see Wakefield getting a check paid out to him, okay? All that money just going straight into his bank account, straight into his mansion and into his fine lifestyle. So that's what's going on here, guys. It's all about money. It's not about anything, because Wakefield knows he's a fraud. This is the thing. People have said this to me many times. Do you think Wakefield knows what he's doing? Oh, yeah. He's a professional charlatan. This is my whole life. I look into charlatans and their behaviour, and he is a professional charlatan. God, he's good at it. He really is good at it. I have to give him that credit. And what really serves well for Wakefield with all of this is his personality, his persona. He's so charming and he's so well spoken and he's so, you know, I'm a wonderful man, I'm chopping wood. So this is what this film does. It's like, it really, I think this woman, the director, obviously has some kind of thing from as well. I don't know what this is, that these idiot women see him and just like, oh, Wakefield, you know, because I think he's revolting, really revolting in every element. I really do. And, but that's what the film is like. This is Wakefield. He's such a great guy. Look at him making breakfast for his kids. And look, he can chop wood as well. Look how many logs. And there's one scene where you see the wife take the daughter up to some, I don't know, woodland area. Look at all the wood Daddy's chopped. Wow, you can chop wood as well as harming children. Well done, Wakefield. Congratulations. So this is what we see with this film, is lumberjack Wakefield and money, 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 money. Checks. I've taken some photographs, not very good ones, from watching this, because I want to write a blog. And what really scares me as well, like I said earlier, are the people that I recognise in here. Then we've got Polly, Tommy, the usual quacks. And then one crazy guy, I have to get his name, I've actually forgotten, but I saw him and I screamed because he has harassed me and my friend Emma, actually, and some other autistic advocates that are out there. Really abusively. So these are the kind of people Wakefield is hanging around with. Really just scumbags and quacks and charlatans. And like, I want to close because I don't want to talk too much more on this. But Miranda, really, the film, I suppose, has really helped us as the autistic community can really prove now what Wakefield is. You know, it's actually given us the kind of the ammunition that we need to really just expose this man on a higher level. And you know, we would love a filmmaker to approach the autistic community, to talk to us, the people that suffer at the hands of Wakefield, who are exploited every day. We'd love a film made to tell the truth about how we feel about this issue, how we feel when these films are made and all this time and effort and money that has gone into this man. What a waste, really. What a waste of camera, film and time. And it wasn't even entertaining. That's the terrible thing. You know, there was nothing that could kind of lift you from the lies to think, oh, you know, at least we had this. But what is interesting for me is the checks and the money totting up throughout the film. And look, to just, you know, adding it up in my head, you're probably talking a few million was made through funding for Wakefield when he was suing Brian Deere and the Times. So he made that money out of vulnerable people. And when he ran out of funding from the autistic community, he went elsewhere, to the quacks and to the chiropractors. So basically, to summarise, Wakefield is a parasite. He's like a tick, and that's what he does. He sucks the blood out of others to make money. Because that's what it's all about for him, because he wants to live the high lifestyle. He's not suffering. He's not poor. He's not living a life that, people out there who really care about human rights. He doesn't care about human rights. He's a parasite that has made a living out of telling lies, and that's what he's continuing to do with all of these other films that he's involved in the vax movement at the moment. And children are suffering, and children are dying, and he's bringing these diseases back. He's got blood in his hands. He's a parasite, and this film is a disgrace. It's really badly made as well, Miranda Bailey. And what I'd like to say to you, Miranda, is talk to the autistic community. Talk to parents that are educated and that actually believe in science. Not one parent was represented that believes in science in that film. Not one. Why didn't you engage with them? It took you 5 years to make. 5 whole years. My goodness, it's absolutely like something you throw together in a few months. It's really, really poorly put together. But we're here if you want to talk to us, the autistic community, parents of autistic children who have, the ability to look at science and realize the truth about vaccinations and how important they are for us. All you've done, Miranda, is actually create more fear-mongering, and it will lead to further suffering for children. This is what this film will do. And as for Wakefield, you look like a complete idiot in this film. That's the only bonus for me, is like you come across as this poor little victim. Oh, why did this happen to me? And what you are is a money-grabbing parasite who has blood in his hands. And I'm just closing on that. I have the link if anyone wants to watch it. It's been given to me. I'm not going to say where I got it from, because it's probably not meant to be given to me. But I appreciate the fact that I was able to see it, because I want to report in a proper way. And I have. I've watched the film. It's a load of crap. It's dangerous propaganda. And Wakefield is just a fraud who robs vulnerable people of thousands, probably millions of pounds, let's be honest. And that's why he's able to live the life he's living now. A high life that most of us would only dream of. Okay, so there you go. The Pathological Optimist should be the Pathological Liar. That's what it should be called. Other terrible film created to target uneducated, vulnerable people. That's the sad part. There are people out there that will probably fall for this. Please don't. Listen to science, listen to your doctors, and don't listen to conspiracy theorists and quacks. And this film director must be one of them, because you have not brought this out in a balanced way, Miranda Bailey. It is like an Alex Jones film. It's like something that we would see one of the conspiracy theorists make. It's really, really poor. And Wakefield, congratulations. You're a parasite. You deserve a medal for being the biggest parasite of all. Thanks for watching, guys. Please share this video. Bye.